Hello, my fellow eccentric entrepreneurs. This is Taylor Ellwood, your business wizard. And I missed last week because I was away at Convocation, which is a conference that I was presenting at, but I'm here again this week, so welcome me back. Yay, here I am. So today I want to talk about something which I think is really important for eccentric entrepreneurs, and it's how do you actually step into your eccentricity, your weirdness, and use it in your business. The fact of the matter is that pretty much every eccentric entrepreneur I've met is somebody who is either openly eccentric and quite happy about it, or they're compartmentalizing themselves into a little box just like this, and they're trying to keep part of themselves locked away because they're afraid of how people will judge them. Now, up until a little while ago, I was the latter. I was all locked away. I wasn't allowing myself to fully be out and about, openly eccentric. And yet, since November, I've decided, well, screw it. I'm just going to be openly eccentric because it doesn't really much matter anyway. And I think that's kind of what you have to have in order to take that first step. Is you just kind of have to decide: does it really matter what other people think? Does it really matter if other people are going to judge you for being openly eccentric? And the answer to that really should be no. It doesn't matter. And the reason for that is because, yes, you're not going to appeal to everyone around you. In fact, you may not appeal to a lot of people, but what matters is that you appeal to people who get your eccentricity. For example, for me, I found that in the last few weeks, I've had a few different people get a hold of me, and it's kind of been interesting because why they've gotten a hold of me is because I'm just being openly eccentric about myself. I'm the business wizard who coaches eccentric entrepreneurs with a combination of business smarts and wealth woo. And that's grabbing people's interest. They're like, okay, well, what's really going on there? Why is he doing that? And it's awesome. And the reason why is because I don't care anymore. I don't care what other people think. Well, how do you do that? Well, first you have to step into those fears. Your fear of judgment, your fear of having people not accept you, whatever your fears are, you need to step into them and embrace them. You need to feel them in here. When you feel those fears, when you feel those doubts, you discover the narrative underneath, and the narrative underneath is probably going to be something like, when I was really young, my parents called me weird, and they didn't mean it in a good way. Or the kids at the playground called me weird, and it made me feel really awkward because I was really excited about G.I. Joe and Transformers, or whatever it was that you were really excited about when you were a kid. And, okay, those people didn't get you then. And as a young kid, you're a lot more receptive to those judgments because you want to fit in. But you know what? Fitting in doesn't matter. Fitting in doesn't work. Fitting in is bland and boring and dull. So what you end up discovering is now, oh, okay, you know what, I don't need to fit in, and in fact, I don't want to fit in. What I want to do is just be myself and let people like me or not, because the people who are going to do business with me are going to be like, okay, hey, that's cool that you're weird. That's cool that you have this eccentric interest in Transformers and G.I. Joes, or that you have this eccentric interest in magic, or that you have this eccentric interest in whatever it is that you have an eccentric interest in. So if you're finding that you're compartmentalized, explore those fears, explore those narratives, and ask yourself, do you really want those to dictate who you are? Because once you unlock them, once you step into them and release them, you will find that it becomes a lot easier to show up and stand out because you are getting a hold of the right people who really want to get to know you and work with you. So that's it for this week, but next week I'll be talking more on this topic. And if you have a comment about becoming openly eccentric, feel free to leave it below. And otherwise, feel free to subscribe. Thanks so much.